Testing, 1 2 testing. Hey, just getting ready and stuff. About to start in a few minutes. Welcome Anna Kevin. First time chat. Give me a follow if you like the stream. About to start now.
Ass or whatever like that. That's fan fiction. That's the definition of fan fiction. But anyway, yes, once a lot of anime series ends, that's it. That's their legacy. And you can always go back and watch it. And what they do is they'll remaster it so many times and stuff like that, reintroduce it to a new audience, but it's the same anime. It's the same anime over and over again. And that's why Dragon Ball, that's why Naruto and One Piece and all this other type of stuff capture the hearts of so many people and stuff, you know. And you look at Fist of the North Star, and people love that as well. It's old, you know, but people still love it to this day, you know. Only thing that Western content has not been consistent on is sex appeal. Bring back sexy Western characters. I think that's going to come back soon enough. I think that will come back sooner than we think, guys. Mugen, what do you think of PSN outage over the weekend? Yeah, I talked about it already. It's why people want to the next console to be physical only. I don't really have much to say about it because I wasn't playing any. I haven't touched my PS5 this year at all yet. I didn't like last time I played my PS5 was in November. No, not even November. October. That was the last time I played my PS5 or whatever. So yeah, man. We've seen this before with the PS3 hack and PSN was down and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot to learn. You said the mic sounds a bit painful. Was it too loud? Let me see. Oh my god. Is it doing that again? Is it doing that? Well, oh crap. Hold up, guys. It's doing this shit again. Testing. Let me see. All right, it should be back. Is it back? I'm playing Eastern games. Let's not forget, majority of anime adaptations are more in tune with the manga is based on.
Really now?
Yo, what's up, Talcum?
You shouldn't
It's not
keep
good
a
enough.
girl waiting.
It was shrinkage. Yeah. Outrage is going too far. Such a stupid hill to die on for fan service. Okay. He said, while movies are based on comic books, are mostly less in tone with the source material is based on something totally different.
refuse to instill their own visions and become filmmakers on their own thing. Despite they search for what can rage them, yet too much nitpicking. Yeah, they dumb down the female characters too much. I love Ivy from Soul Calibur, and I'm worried that she may be nerfed if they make a new game. I don't know. They, like right now, the culture shift is happening, so I don't know. We will have to wait and see how they all turn out. I don't even think the nerfing the female characters is really. I don't know what got played despite the hype from the FGC. Yeah, 2080. MSV. Okay. I want to ask if you heard something called. No, never heard of it. Nope, never heard of it. Word only universe. It's not physical, which means they can take it away. Like a kid game. I rather focus on making my own entertainment. Yep, just like how I did, working on my own entertainment. I want to ask, how do you feel about a shared universe with superhero stories, battle royale stories, giant robot stories, and serial killer anthologies? Well, I mean, even my being running comic universe, man, I'm not shit. I'm about to fall into a trap and bullshit. Man, my shared universe will have a variety of stuff. I mean, like I said, see on the Dive Star Champion, it's a fantasy, but it's also a battle royale type of, fantasy story. That's the being running comic universe. You got VK, you got it's about vampire hunters, stuff like that. So I have a lot of sci-fi that's supposed to be in my universe. I don't want to spoil it, but yes, I'm gonna have a variety of stuff in Beings Around Comics universe. That's all in the same shared space, Good specs, and then the Steam. What to ask? What's your favorite Green Lantern? My favorite Green Lantern would be. I will have two Green Lanterns that I like: Hal Jordan and John Stewart. But the Switch 2 can just add 4 fake frames for every frame, so every game can run in the Steam Deck alone. Let's see. Imagine Metroid Prime 4 on Steam Deck. That's more powerful than Switch 2. I wouldn't listen to the fan base anymore. Just make a light novel or a manga or a comic book. Bro, I just saw that you have never played Stella. Yeah. Easy, one of the best. Yeah, I love Tactics games, bro. I'm kind of mad that I'm just finding out about it. And I got a PS2. I got a lot of PS2 games. But I never ever heard of that game. Like that was the wonders. Let me tell you something. That was the wonders. We was eating a long time ago. That's why I missed the 90s and early 2000s, because especially in the PS2, GameCube, and the Xbox, original Xbox era, we were eating so good. In the Dreamcast era, we were eating so good because there were so many games. There were so many different games out there that even when you thought you played them all, you didn't play them all. And that game is a perfect example of that. Perfect example of how good we had it as gamers and of that generation. It was like every week there was a new game coming out, and you couldn't play them all. You just couldn't play them all. So you really owe it yourself to play it.
All right, I'm looking at your.
I would love to play it.
Looking at your X here. You kind of empty there. I'm gonna think about it before I follow you. I appreciate the follow. I'd rather you follow me here on Twitch, but a little bit concerned. A little bit concerned.
You asked me, I guess. I enjoy every bit of it. Just chilling with you guys and
just want to make sure it ain't a bot.
More about me and everything.
Make sure it's not a bot.
The big two, DC Marvel, weren't woke,
but I got you on. I got you. I'm keep an eye on you. When you start posting, a few things,
that's a good question.
Then I might follow you. But right now,
all right, that's a good question.
Make sure you're not a bot, okay? But welcome to the stream. Hope you enjoy it. Right now, I got my homeboy Mugen Lord.
Back then, I would say this: I knew more because my dad is a
and I'm just playing some Street Fighter with this
sitting underneath my dad, I read more.
Hope you enjoy it. I'll talk a little bit here and there, but this is like some kind of digital noise. Something keep busy while I talk, because I know I don't talk that much.
Was the Foundation, the Trinity, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, of course. Then of course you got Aquaman, and Green Lantern and the Flash. They were the only ones that I knew from DC. I only knew things around the realms of those characters. But when it came to Marvel, I knew so much about Marvel from, you know, Spider-Man, you know, that's Spider-Man, Hulk, Ghost Rider, Fantastic Four, Eternals, Guardians of the Galaxy, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. We had what was the other one? What's the chick name? That was and Danny Rand used to date, the black chick with the afro. I can't remember her name. But yeah, her, like it was so many characters that I knew, so many series, Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and Hawkeye, Black Widow, all these other characters I knew because of my dad. So I guess you would say I would like the Marvel at first, but then once the DC cartoons started coming out, Batman the animated series, you know what I'm saying? We started getting a lot of the animated features, Justice League, and then the animated movies. Then I started becoming more of a DC fan, and because of those movies, or because of the cartoon films, it made me start, especially Justice League. Justice League taught me a lot about DC characters. There's a lot of characters I knew nothing about, like the Question. You know what I'm saying? Black Canary. My dad wasn't really heavily into DC like that. So no, he was in, like, how would I say, like, he didn't go deeper into DC or whatever. But then when I started seeing DC stories, man, a lot of DC stories were like really, really good, and they were very, very dark. So I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to choose which one I would like better. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anything, I probably would go to DC a little bit more because of their dark, very, very dark stories, and very, even though Marvel got some dark stories, but DC has some dark and very mature stories. Like I have
really now? You shouldn't keep a girl waiting.
I gotta find it. One second. I'm still looking, guys. Hold up. Here we go. I found it. Bro. Batman Under the Hood. Oh my fucking God. This story blew my mind. So that's when they finally did Under the Red Hood on the animated film, even though it wasn't nowhere near the comic, it was still fucking good. This one made me get in deeper into DC and want to know about other characters within the DC universe. Under the Hood was awesome. And then my white friend, my boy Dante, he was the one that got me into these books. Batman, Hush, this was fucking good. Then he introduced me to Watchmen. I was falling in love with a lot of the DC properties because he got me into them, and I started buying these books and stuff like that. Really, really, really good. And then I wanted to get into a Sonic comic book because everybody talks about how good Sonic books are. A lot of people talk about how good they are. So I wanted to get the Sonic book, and it's by IDW. And I'll say this: it's interesting. I love the artwork and stuff. It's interesting, but what I'm upset about is, man, that this dude. The moment I got the book and started reading it, the pages started falling out. They just instantly started falling out. And how the paper feels, I don't know, man. I think this wasn't put together well. The book, like not the story. I'm talking about like the book itself, like the type of binding of the papers and stuff. But I wanted to get into Sonic. Get into Sonic comics because everybody keeps talking about how good Sonic comic books are. I wanted to get into it. This story wasn't too bad. This is like a reboot because of the whole thing with IDW or whatever that was going on. So they rebooted the entire series and stuff. So I don't know. This wasn't bad, but I would have to get more in order to follow this or whatever. So yeah. So that's that. When it comes to enhanced backwards compatibility with Switch 20, Nintendo should have just went with re-emulation.
Okay. What's up, Jacob? What's going on? Just right. We love training with 2 women. I have an idea that I want to share with you. How do I contact you? Just contact me on X. I know you left a comment. I know you commented on one of my X posts. Just send me a message on X. Or you can just go to you can just contact me. I got my email on my YouTube channel. Go to the About page and you can find my email address. You can just email me as well if you want to do that. Dragon Ball Super felt more like it was made by the company than Toriyama himself. Yeah, dude. Like I said, man, it's fan fiction, man. It felt it was a corporate product. It would sell toys and sell new video games and stuff. That's all that was. Does PS Instant affect PS4 and PS3? I have no idea, bro. The chat is backed up, by the way. Yeah. I have completed another manuscript. Looks good. Please find a decent professional editor. I don't know. I would use AI like ChatGPT and stuff like that too. When it comes to like editing your your content and stuff like that, and proofreading and stuff. Let's see. Damn it. Moving and chat got me considering don't like turn-based. I love turn-based, man. Missy Knight, how can you forget Missy Knight? Yeah, I couldn't remember that damn name. Yeah, I could not remember that fucking name, but it's at the tip of my tongue. Gotta admit, they did my good in Street Fighter 6. Yeah, they did really good with her. They did some justice. I want to ask, how do you feel about fantasy worlds that are inspired by cultures outside of the European culture? I mean, if it's done really good, like I said, as long as it's interesting, man. If you can just pull me in, and all I care about is being entertained. If you can entertain me and you can keep me locked in, and it doesn't have to be philosophical. Like I'm a type of person where a story or a world or whatever you're creating doesn't have to be like super philosophical. It just has to be entertaining enough to where the point I give a shit. If you can make me give a shit, I'm on board. It don't take much. That's all I ask for. My first comment is just see. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't really dive into other people's cultures like that. So I'll just look at other cultures that did want to know what type of culture I want to see. For me, I learned more into DC. I grew up on DC cartoons, animated films, the Real Hood animated movies, my favorite DC, animated or not. Yo, what's up, Captain Brad? Yo, what's up, XL? Uncut HBO Spawn animated series is so far the best adaptation of Tommy Flynn. Like, I never really watched it. I can't get into Spawn. Like Spawn, he's a badass design, but like his world, I don't care for. I don't know. It's something about Spawn I just can't get into. I can't get into Spawn. I just like him as a character. I just like the character. I don't care about the world. I don't care about his world and universe at all. I just care about his character. I don't really care much about Spawn. I just can't get into it. Missy Knight, Trails franchise. Everybody suggested Trails. I told everybody that in order for me to play Trails, I would have to clear a lot of my backlog first. Trails, because I don't want to play a Trails game and then take a break and play something. No, I like to play them back to back, a good portion of them, and that's gonna require my time. And so I will try the Trail series at some point. I bet you saw Missy Knight. I'm a my way kind of guy. I say make whatever you like. If it's entertaining, go for it. My first comment was Avengers, the Breaking Strand in '86. That sounds so familiar. I grew up with DCAU. It was a long time I watched those movies. Yeah, Under the Red Hood, Justice League Wars. And Justice League Crisis. Justice League Crisis. And what was it? The Wonder Woman movie, animated film. Oh man, like I said, man, back then they were and Flashpoint was pretty good too. They made some good films animated films back then. And I don't know what the fuck they're doing now. I really don't. I really don't know what they're like. What the fuck they call themselves doing when it comes to that. But yeah, man, I collect a lot of comic books. And just recently, I had.
I had got it came in the mail. Yeah, so just recently, I got Cyberfrog that came in. It came in the mail over the weekend. So when I get a chance, sometime this week, I'm gonna open it up and give Ethan Van Skyver's Cyberfrog a try and read that. Also, as I said before. I gotta get the next volume of Alita Battle Angel. I fell in love with this. The movie, I saw the movie first. I never even heard of Alita Battle Angel until the movie. Fell in love with the movie. Then found out it was an old anime back in like the late 80s, early 90s or something like that. Watched that, and then I was like, I gotta get the book. I gotta get the manga. So I gotta get volume 2 to follow the story even farther. I love this. I love Alita Battle Angel. Also, of course, I got one second, guys. I got you. Then, of course, here. Oh, we can talk about a bit about comics and stuff too. Since I'm really getting into it and everything. So yeah. So also, of course, you guys don't know. I also had got the yo, what's up? He said, yo, Mugen, did you read manga in the 90s? Nope, never read manga in the 90s. Never even touched manga at all. I don't even read manga. Like I tried manga when I first got introduced to manga itself, and I found out that it's the black and white. So where's the color at? I was like, where's the fucking color? And then I found out you had to read from the right on to the left. I was like, oh god, I don't know, man. I don't fucking know. But yeah, so that was that. I'm trying to get into it. Earth's Mighty Heroes is good too. But yeah, I got, of course, Common America. As I said before, this is volume 1. You know, you have colorized manga released later on. Yeah, I got I do got Common America, Stars and Stripes. It's like the special edition that I got of the book. What can I say? I would have to try more volumes because volume 1, it was okay. It was an okay book. And I think because I'm saying the reason why I'm saying it's okay from what I read with volume 1, it's the simple fact is that there was so many people who were like really selling it to me, saying like, yo, this is a really good series. Like Mugen Lore, you really need to read this. You really need to read this. It's really good. Really good. So a lot of people like oversold it to me, got me like super excited. And then, like I said, I seen the characters before I knew it was a book. Like because I see so much fan art. I've been seeing action figures. I've been seeing all kinds of stuff of Common America. But then once you guys started coming to me on X and many other places and stuff, but telling me that you really need to check out Common America. So I end up picking this up with volume 1. I'm gonna get volume 2. But when I got it and started reading it, it's not bad, but it's not what, you know, because of the hype that everybody kept, you know, hyping it up. The artwork is cute. My daughter likes to look at the artwork is cute. Stuff like that. And everything. But yeah, it didn't really draw me in. I mean, the chicks are hot. I mean, that has that going for it and everything. But what I do like about it is how it opens up. What I do like about it is how it opens up. You have the main protagonist, you know, she's trying to do what the boys do.
because her teacher and everybody been, you know, trying to teach her, trying to say that, you know, girls can do what guys do. You know what I'm saying? Like, guys and girls are the same and stuff like that. She's trying to play baseball, and she's not really into baseball. She's not really good at this stuff. So she's been, like, brainwashed, or she's been told to do boyish type things, to consider equal or seen, you know, seen a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that message, that kind of rhetoric. And then what happens is she has a father, she has a parents and stuff. Her father was pretty much telling her to beat herself. She don't want to play baseball. She don't want to do boy stuff or whatever like that. She's a girl. She's a girl. She's a girly girl. She's into fashion and stuff like that. So she pretty much grows up, and she really gets into fashion. She gets into fashion and stuff like that. She makes the different outfits for, like, for the military and all this other type of stuff. But she gets into like a military accident. Kind of like, remember how Tony Stark got into an accident in the movie, in the MCU, where Tony Stark got into the van, the military Humvee, and then he got attacked and stuff, and he got injured. That kind of like happened to her, where she got injured, and then she ends up getting her powers and everything. And the crazy part about it is, which I kind of find kind of like, how can I say it? She wakes up in Area 51. Once she discovers that she has powers, Area 51 lets her go. Area 51 just lets her go. You would think that Area 51 would say, hey, you could make some good money. You could work for us. And she said, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, well, here, take her card if you're interested or something. They just let her go. She gets powers. She's in Area 51, and they just let her go. So I was like, okay, that's kind of funny. So yeah, then there's one part where her friend picked her up, right? And it was an interesting conversation where I'm gonna try to find. Yeah, here we go. So her and her friend gets into this conversation on this page, right? Which was interesting. So she pretty much said, she talked to her friend. So her friend asked her, so how was your going? She said, fine, I guess. Why so glum? She said, I don't know. I just feel sort of lost. She said, I wasn't happy with the gigs my agent was getting me, and yet I just turned down a plush offer from those army guys. I know I want to design clothes, but that's not enough. And I don't know what else I want to do. And then that's when her friend, her nerdy, her science friend says, most people would envy your problems. At least you always do what you wanted to be. That's why Miss Wormy never picked on her. And she says, that's because I wanted to be a geologist. She was all about the science. Told me to grow up, get the degree, and break that glass ceiling like it was still 1955 or something. My graduating class was 75% women, right? At the lab, I have one male co-worker, and he's a total fruitcake. Some glass ceiling. So they like this book makes fun of the wokeness and stuff like that. And she's pretty much saying that, yo, I was told them to break the glass ceiling. Now 75% of chicks have graduated. Now they're in the science, and there's only one male. Where's he at? And this dude is a beta male, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is the thing. I think this thing is like a culture, kind of almost like a culture war type of book, and it pokes one at a lot of wokeness. I think that's another reason why it gravitates to a certain crowd and stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of time skips, in montages and everything like that. So it was kind of moving kind of too fast or whatever like that. The science just like wanted to soak it in.
I almost messed that up.
Soak her character a bit more and know more about her and stuff. But she ran across this villain. Who's a Russian chick, and she has like fire abilities, kind of similar to how she has lightning, she has fire. She gets her ass kicked by the Russian chick, but then you find out that this Russian chick, she's feminine too. Like, she designs her outfits, so they found something in common with each other. She likes to design clothes. So yeah, man, it was okay. They became friends. So I'm gonna keep going to see where it picks up, because everybody keeps telling me like, yo, this is really, really good. This is really, really phenomenal. And stuff like that. The comments design because activation is needed. He said, do you have any thoughts about men having low standards when dating women? For example, one of my friends exclusively dates fat chicks, single moms, and black women because they say they're easy. Yeah, well, that type of guy, that type of guy, he's a low value dude. Because what he's pretty much saying is that he doesn't want to level up to be a man of value. So what he does is instead of putting that work to get the type of woman that he really wants, instead he just fuck with fat chicks because it's easier. He only fucks with what you say, single moms, because it's easier, and only fucks with black women because it's easier to do that. So he doesn't have to improve or level himself up to get the quality woman that he wants. And that's subtle. Like guys like that, he's a low value dude. That's the problem with what they were telling. Yeah. So my audience oversold me with this book. I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm going to buy more volumes to see where it picks up. Like see what everybody's telling me about this book or what like that. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't like awesome like how everybody was telling me. So I wanted to wait and see and read the next volume. So also, I'm also going to do reviews, but you guys need to hear my opinion first on this chat, on this stream. I like bad girls. They gotta be able to run though. Boom. I'm buying this now. Comics are the thing. See, this is why I stay away from. It sounds like a slice of life, which I find a bit boring. The art does look nice. Yeah, slice of life, but no superhero stuff that goes into it and stuff. And then of course, I got Eric July's Rippaverse stuff. I got Goody. I got Horseman. I got Yaira. And then I did get the Ripper team. Did get that. You guys want to hear my thoughts on this? The Rippaverse stuff? I will do a review on this, but that will be videos of its own, but you guys get a chance to hear my opinions on a lot of this stuff.
Working on them footsies, man. Like trying to work on them.
When it comes to Eric July, man, like I really respect what he has done. For the fact that this man went out and pursued a dream. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he went out and he wanted to do something. He wanted to bet on himself. And he definitely did that. He went out, started a comic book company, and he built an audience for himself. You know, so now he has Rippaverse fans and everything like that. And the time they announced the Rippaverse, I was already working on Games Alliance comics and stuff. And from that point on, I said to myself, well, let's watch what he does. Since he's pretty much in the same ballpark, me and him's in the same position. He's just starting out, you know, doing starting our own comic book companies and stuff like that. He's a comic book writer and author, and I'm also a comic book writer and author. So I said this is the perfect time for me to learn certain things, like the do's and the don'ts within the indie comic space and just starting a comic book company in general. So this is the perfect case study for me and everything. So I respect a lot of things that he's done. But the issue comes in is when a lot of the drama that surrounds the Rippaverse and comic space and all that other type of stuff, which kind of made it kind of polarizing for me because of how both sides constantly go back and forth with one another. And it got to the, like I said before, when I wanted to dive into the Rippaverse itself, I wanted to see what people who actually bought ISOM and what they thought about it and everything. So the problem that I had when it came to ISOM was the fact that when it first came out, especially when the first ISOM 1 and 2 came out, it was kind of hard to get an objective feel of what people thought of ISOM. It really was hard because when I looked up reviews, especially a long time ago when ISOM first came out, especially the first two volumes books came out, this is what you had. You had people who like overly
save me there, that damage. Liking that she's got
and
decent damage.
It's that thing. It's better than what Marvel's doing, it's better than what DC is doing. Right? And then the other side, you got the detractor side, where they can't stand the book, it's garbage, and they can't stand Eric. So there was no objective. Like what I found was you had super fans that like anything that Eric puts out, they like it, they enjoy it. And then I started looking for people that I thought were like awesome people as well. Remember, this is before I got into the beef with John Della Rosa. So I went to John Della Rosa, and what he said that the book was great. He said that Eric's writing is on the same, like him and Eric's writing is the same and stuff like that, which people saying that was bullshit in the comics and stuff. People saying that his writing was much better than Eric's writing and stuff and everything. So a lot of people, so during this time when Eric was making, when ISOM made about 3.6 or 3.7 million, there was something, people who were making comics or whatever like that, there was something, a lot of people I would feel was like a lot of people were kissing up to Eric as well, because people who got comic books started, you know, I would say have their alliance or allegiance to Eric, because they think if I align myself with Eric, if I have a comic book and I align myself with Eric, then I can get a piece of his audience. And that's the thing that I don't like that was going on in this space, where I believe that Eric has a lot of people who aren't really his friends. They're only around him is because they also want to benefit off of him because of the money that he made and stuff like that. So then now you have a lot of yes men that are around Eric or whatever like that, because they want to protect Eric, because hopefully if you know, if they someday launch a comic book of their own, Eric will go out and help them out so they can make $1 million and stuff like that. And that's how I seen it and stuff. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's how when I was looking at the comic place, I think there's a lot of disingenuous people that's in Eric's corner, that doesn't really have his best interest at heart, and they're only looking to benefit off of him, because now all of a sudden everybody wants to do a comic book that hangs around him now, or whatever like that, and they're thinking they can get some of that audience, and I think that those people will leave Eric out cold, leave him out to dry the moment shit hits the fan. Like if things start looking bad for Eric, for Rippaverse and stuff like that, I think they'll be the first to throw him under the bus. When the time comes, if that ever happens and stuff like that. So that's the only, I really feel bad for Eric, because I really believe that there's a lot of people that's using Eric, or that's only around him, they think they can benefit by aligning themselves with him. And that's why I don't like the culture war space. It's a similar thing. A lot of people are only hanging around certain people and ignore some of the fuckery that some of these people do within the space, because they want their audience, because their audience, it converts into money. And that's why I think that I see when it comes to this. Raise your voices 7 octaves. Oh man, thanks for the super chat. I still love, but it can be better. So speaking of which, Spriggan is underrated manga. I definitely gotta check that out. So yes, so that's why I said, you know what? I'm gonna skip on ISOM. And I like when I see ISOM, I don't know how I'm getting like a mixed signal from ISOM, because for one, I'm like, is he like Luke Cage, or is he? And then when you see the covers with him fighting, or you always see like the covers with him, with Alpha Core going after him on one of the covers. So it's like, okay, he's fighting characters with just like Superman and stuff. So is he on that level, or is he like Luke Cage? Because when you see like the villains that he's fighting, like you know, Club, what's his name? What's the guy's name? Fontano. What's his name? Something Fontano. He's like a drug. He's like a drug kingpin. He's like a drug dealer that owns a club. So I'm like, okay, so is he more like a street level, you know, Luke Cage, or is he more like a heavy hitter, like Superman? He's fighting Alpha Core. You see on the cover, he doesn't fight Alpha Core, but the cover shows him fighting Alpha Core. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like giving me a mixed signal. So I was like, okay, I'll probably just wait on ISOM. I'll just wait for the next book, which is Yaira, because I'm not sure if let me see, he said there was a dude named right. Let's see. So looking at these drums, one that got okay, I got you. Yeah, so I'm not sure if Eric did this on purpose, but I think Yaira was marketed really well. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, when it comes to Yaira, I was the most hyped for Yaira because all the advertisers You always seen Yaira kicking ass. You know, she's stepping up against Alpha Core, and she's even beating Isam ass. And what's so sad, what's so funny about Isam, what makes me recognize Isam as a character is him falling on that car. When Yaira ripped him up and throws him on the car. That's the only thing I associate with Isam, him getting fucked up by Yaira. And then when the Yaira trailer came out, the live action trailer came out, I was actually excited seeing the scene in live action of Isam hitting the car. And for Isam to be the star character that's supposed to go in the universe, this dude has been getting fucked up in a lot of advertisements. Always him getting his ass more, like especially when it comes to Yaira. So I was really looking forward to Yaira. So I said, you know what? Whenever you drop the Yaira book, I'm gonna pick up Yaira. You know? Let me see. So you don't like not just action, but just reasons. So you don't like werewolves. Well, in BK, there's many werewolves in BK. So freaking girl. Oh, thanks for the super chat. So do you have a favorite comedian? I like comedians, but I do have a favorite. Mine would be like a lot of mainstream, like Dave Chappelle. I do like Chris Rock. I do like Bill Burr. But I'm not really deep into culture. Yeah, well, so the first book that I did get, was oh, let me see. Oh, this is funny. He said, why does Yaira hate Isam? This is the funny thing. All right, let me explain that for a second. She doesn't hate Isam. If you read Isam's book, what happens is Isam goes into Valentino's club looking for this chick named Jasmine that Isam's sister told him to go look for. Isam goes into the club asking for the girl. Valentino, him and Valentino get into a heated discussion, and he sends one of his bouncers to pretty much throw Isam out. So Isam and the bouncer get to fighting. The bouncer, I can't remember his fucking name, but the bouncer is also an excess, like Isam. He got powers, but in Isam they don't explain in Isam they don't really explain what an excess is. We still don't know what an excess actually is. And so you have to wait for the war of separation. I guess that they'll probably tell us what an excess is, but we still don't know what an excess is. We don't know what Isam is capable of. We really don't. We don't know much about him. So he fights the bouncer. The bouncer beats Isam ass. I mean, he beats his ass. Then he takes that nigga, grabs him by his hoodie, and throws him the fuck out of the club. So check this out. He throws Isam out of the club. What is the chances? He throws him out. Now, he throws him miles away. He pretty much takes Isam and throws his ass miles away from the club. So when he's throwing out of the club, he just so happens to fall into Yaira at the same time. So coincidentally, Yaira was getting thrown by Alpha Core, and Isam was getting thrown by the bouncer, and they just smashed into each other. So when they crashed into each other, Yaira turns around and somehow thinks that Isam is part of Alpha Core or something like that, and trying to detain her. And Isam tells Yaira, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And I don't know why she would believe that, since he doesn't have a uniform on. So I don't know why she would think that. But yeah, she start attacking Isam. And Isam is not really fighting her back, she's blocking her, but she's beating his ass. She picks him up, grabs him by the collar, and just drops him, and he falls and hits the car. So he said, did Isam and Yaira date? No, they didn't date. Who would win, Storm versus Aquaman? I think Storm would win. Storm is pretty much the goddess. Yo, what's up, Rocky? What's going on? Werewolves are awesome, but it's because the main character is hot. I want to ask if you're familiar with the classic Universal monster movies. So, what you read? I don't really care about the monster universe stuff. It's Isam. So Isam got his chocolate and Yaira peanut butter. There's a lot of potential, but you have IBS. So yes, so yeah, so she gets her. he gets his ass kicked by Yaira. Yaira kicks his ass or whatever. So yes. So now here's Yaira, right? I got the Yaira book. Now the thing they really get me about Yaira's design, because the way she was marketed, she kind of reminds me of like a Wonder Woman, because she's flying around, she seems like super strong. You didn't really see her powers, so she's fucking up Ice House. So when we finally get a chance to actually see what Yaira is capable of, we find out that she has ice powers. Now, that's what really confused me about Yaira, because she didn't look like a character that would have ice, because the way she was portrayed in the Ice-On book, she didn't seem like a character that would have ice. And if you don't know anything about me, I don't really like ice powers. I don't think ice powers are interesting, which is why, like, to me, Iceman was never an interesting character to me in X-Men and stuff like that. So after seeing Yaira, and plus Yaira in the comics didn't have this outfit. She was just a white chick with leggings, and she's wearing a sweat hoodie and shit like that, and beating Ice-On's ass. So when we finally get a chance to get a glimpse of Yaira, what she's capable of, we find out that she has ice powers. I'm like, she got ice powers. So I'm not into ice powers at all. So it kind of threw me off as far as that's concerned, because she didn't seem like a character the way she was designed. She didn't seem like she was designed to be an ice character the way she was portrayed. And then even down to her outfit, it doesn't give me like an ice feel to it. It doesn't have an ice feel to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I decided I wanted to jump into the Yaira, jump into the universe, Riververse, with Yaira, and wait 1 second. I'm kind of coming back to my hometown and party all the time. Yeah, so I said, okay, I'm gonna dive into Yaira. To get into the universe, the Riververse, I'm gonna first start with Yaira. So I bought Yaira, and I didn't like the book. I didn't like Yaira at all. I did not like it. The book had potential. I give it that. For me, I think it's like 98 pages. And with these 98 pages, a lot of it felt like filler. I felt as though that they could have cut a lot of this out. I think the most disappointing part about Yaira is the villain, because there's 3 villains, and these 3 villains actually comes from her universe. We couldn't find out that she's not from this universe. So these are the 3 villains right here. This chick, she's supposed to be a queen. She's a queen from where she comes from. Now the thing that confuses me is, if she's supposed to be the queen, right? Why would they send their queen of their world to go after Yaira? Why would they send their queen? Why would they send their royalty out there, if anything? And in fact, I think what they should have did was they should have built her up to be the big bad that Yaira will eventually fight at some point. But this woman, this queen chick, she can't stand Yaira, because Yaira has she's pretty much, I would say, she pretty much had disrespected the code of their people and shit like that. She's pretty much an outlaw at this point, because Yaira was sent to planet Earth to look for Neptune or something like that, right? So, there's gonna be a campaign for all my chapters are gonna have campaigns. So yes, there will be a campaign for chapter 2 of VK. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. So, are you saying that Yaira's outfit isn't for it cool? I'm more of a fire-based power type, like Faith 4 characters like Torch and stuff. So yes, so you have these 3 villains. You have the queen, and you have these 2 other characters that's with the queen. Yaira was sent. So the interesting part was that like I said, this book had potential. It's because I thought that Yaira was an except from planet Earth. I thought she was from Earth. But then we found out that these 3 characters come from another dimension, and Yaira was on a mission to look for Neptune, and things happen. So now the queen and these 2 other characters that's from her world, they come over, and now they trying to go after Yaira. Because they said she went against their laws or something like that. So I said, oh man, this is interesting. She's not from Earth, so she's technically not an except. she's from another dimension or another world. This is interesting. I want to know more about this. And this is where I got disappointed. The 3 villains were like, they weren't good villains. Like, this was a perfect time to introduce us to the world that Yaira comes from, but they didn't elaborate on any of that. The queen has a hard on for Yaira. She wants to beat Yaira's ass. She wants Yaira dead. So the whole book is always talking about how Yaira disgraced their people and shit like that, and she has to be taken in. That's all she talks about. But we don't get any other context other than that. This was a perfect time for us to explore the world that Yaira had come from. I want to know about their religion. I want to learn about their culture, what the world looks like, and why they hate her. I want to know at least a little bit of something of why she has a hard on and wants to destroy Yaira, right? So then Yaira runs into the queen, and also runs into the other 2 characters, which is the bug guy. When she meets the bug guy, right? She pretty much was, to paraphrase, she seen the bug guy and said, "Oh, this is an old friend of mine's," or something like that. That she knows this guy. Now the thing is, now that the reader knows that she knows this guy, she has some type of friendship or companionship with this bug guy. It goes no farther than that. We just know that she knows him. But to what extent? So now Yaira don't want to fight him, but she's going to fight him. And the thing is, the bug guy doesn't really elaborate his relationship or companionship that he had with Yaira when they were back in their world. You know what I'm saying? So there was no explanation. There was no depth to the villains, which was upsetting me because, this is a missed opportunity here. You know? So we didn't really get any type of depth with the villain. And then when Yaira finally kills them, that was it. That was it for those villains. Like, I didn't really care for their loss or anything because there was really no investment. They were just evil. They were just evil for the sake of being evil. There was no depth to the villains. And then another thing that got me with this book is this chick. What's her name? Stefania. I think that's her name, Stefania. Because I read this months ago. I read it once. I didn't read it more than once. I only read it once. This chick right here, with the bald shaved head. She has like that SJW haircut and shit like that. So Yaira is about to kick her ass. Yaira's literally about to kill her. Yaira runs into her and literally is about to beat her ass, right? And then all of a sudden, this chick's power activates. Now she has ice powers, right? So when her powers activate, it alerted those 3 villains. So Yaira's literally about to kill this chick. So then when the 3 villains showed up, Yaira started fighting the 3 villains. So the Stefania girl, whatever her name is, she escapes. She gets away. So now Yaira, which was kind of crazy, Yaira, she gets to like this oil rig or this oil field. Yaira literally says, "Don't fuck with Texas," right? And then she blows up this oil rig, right? Blowing up that oil rig, she pretty much fucked up the economy, and she injured people. Like, she literally injured people by blowing up that oil rig. So I'm like, is she a hero or is she a villain? So that was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. Why would she do something like that? And she says, "Don't fuck with Texas," but she blows up a Texan oil rig. So I don't know. That's for her to escape. Now check this out. Now all of a sudden she goes into a senior citizen home. And she meets this old Hispanic woman. And when she talks to the old Hispanic woman, it feels like she already had a previous relationship with this woman, because she talks to this woman like she knows this woman. And then come to find out that this old woman is the grandmother to the girl that Yaira was about to kill. So we don't get no explanation of why Yaira goes to this place to talk with this woman, because what it appears is she just met this woman, but their conversations seem as though that they have a relationship, like a mother-daughter type relationship. You know, that like they know each other already. Then she promises the old woman that she will find Stefania. So like, wait a minute, you just tried to kill this girl, you meet her grandmother, and then you promise that you will find her.
I'm confused. Like what is going on here? But the thing the thing that was really interesting that I really liked, which I believe that he should have did at the very beginning. Oh, thanks, Bob. At the very beginning, we got a chance to know Yaira's past. I think that was the thing that what I really liked, because we come to find out when she landed on planet Earth, she landed during the Vikings era, and she fell in love with a Viking leader of a village. And when she fell in love with him, she ended up getting married and she ended up having kids. But one thing that she noticed, because she never fell in love with before, this concept of love, one thing that she noticed was she was young, she remained young, but her husband was getting old. And that was the thing about Yaira, that part of her, I was able to see the humanity in her, because she was crushed. Because I guess she didn't understand the concept of aging, because her husband is getting old. He's a human, but she never ages. So then now she's having a bunch of kids. She had his kids and everything. And now, before you notice, all her kids are getting old. She's outliving her kids. Now she has to bury her kids. And she couldn't stand the sight of outliving her kids. So she left around the time her grandchildren were growing up, because she couldn't stand the sight of burying even her grandchildren. So that was something that I liked about Yaira. That was something that I did like about Yaira. This was something that was really interesting that I wish they would have started out with, because I want to know more about her backstory. But other than that, I did not like the book. I did not like the book at all. I was disappointed. I was disappointed in this book. And I was disappointed in Yaira. So and then my daughter, she likes reading. She likes reading like indie comics. I got her into reading comics, and my daughter's very blunt. My daughter's very blunt when it comes to giving her opinions about stuff. Even when it comes to giving me opinions about what I create and stuff. My daughter can be very harsh. She's just like me, very blunt. So what happened was my daughter was excited for Yaira as well, because my daughter has been keeping up with the Rippaverse as much as I do. Because my daughter hangs out with me a whole lot, and she's into the things that I like at times and stuff. And when Yaira came in, I surprised her with Yaira. Wait 1 second. Hold up. I got so many people. I am more. To be honest, I like Yaira and Rippaverse, but I got no issue with people not liking it. Which reminds me, are you going back to Renown Zero stream? Yeah. I'm definitely going back to Renown Zero. That's my boy. I hate when there's a build up in the story and lore, but there not being any payoff in the end. Yeah. And then she didn't get her costume to the end of the story. You have Eagles jersey. I'm not into sports, so no, I don't have an Eagles jersey. What's the food back there? I don't know. I gotta see what it is. Yeah. So then, yeah, my daughter went to go. My daughter was excited for Yaira, and I let my daughter read it. So she took it out of the plastic and she started reading it. She didn't even make it halfway through. She just gave it back to me. And I was like, why you what's going on? I said, did you finish it? She said, no. She said, Dad, I don't like I don't like it. So my daughter didn't like the book either. She didn't like Yaira either. And then Gooding, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Gooding was pretty interesting. I would say this. What wasn't fair about the Gooding book is that this was like a one-shot book. The book had like pacing issues. It started off strong, in my personal opinion. I still like. I don't think this is a bad book at all. It started off strong, and then we started getting time skips. Like you started feeling the pace and starting to rush because it needs to get to the end. It needs to conclude, and that's where it started falling apart for me with Gooding. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When Gooding was introduced in ISOM 2, I was like, I was not into this character at all. I thought the character, I like the concept with the services, but the character design itself, I thought he's pretty bland. But the concept of him, providing services, to the areas outside of Flora Spark, I thought that was a good idea. But the problem with this book is you don't really get a chance to see any of Gooding's services in action. He talks about it,
but you never see any of the actual services in action. You never see any of the services in action. You see this robot here? This fucking robot wasn't even in the book at all. Wasn't even in the fucking book. We didn't get a chance to see him. Like this is I like this cover. Like a burning building. This robot is picking up the debris over top of his head. We see none of this shit in the book. None of this shit. This is an origin story. How he started the Gooding services, but we never see any of the services in action. We are told about the services and stuff, but especially at the end that he's going to provide services to the cities, to the outskirts of the Flores Park, but we didn't get to see any of that in action. I also like the concept. The fact is that Gooding was bullied, when he was younger, and the fact is that the main villain of this book was his bully, because him and his bully went down a different path. He became a tech genius, became a rich billionaire or whatever, and his bully, getting into a lot of trouble and stuff, ended up getting into the military, then got recruited into an organization, and then he eventually got powers and became a villain. So now you see two adults now coming, Gooding fighting his bully now as an adult. You know what I'm saying? And how he beat the villain, I didn't really like much either. And another problem I had with Gooding, he felt like a Mary Stu. It was like there was never a situation where I felt that Gooding was in a compromising situation. Like he was able to solve himself out of any situation. So there was no urgency. There was no sense of, oh man, can Gooding get out of this? He had an answer for everything. So that was another thing that really dropped the ball for me, that he felt too perfect. There was nothing. He had solutions for everything. It didn't ever feel like that he had a challenge on him. He always was able to solve problems. So that was another thing. But I think this book had pacing issues. My daughter, she really she liked Gooding, and she said the same thing. Like I said, I don't give her my thoughts. I just let her read the book, and she said the same thing. She said, why is there so many time skips? Why is this moving so fast? So she felt the same way I did. So Gooding wasn't really bad. I just think it was a victim of it being a one shot type of book. So he had to tell a story in this. Like Mike Barron had to just tell this story within this one book right here. So that's why I think that's the problem with that. Let me read this. So you waste your money. He said, I understand where you're coming from with Yara. They got to work a lot of work to do. But yes, like this is just my constructive criticism. Like I said, I'm a new writer, so I know I'm going to be criticized for GK and many of my other books. So I expect this. It's just me from one writer to another, or to one independent comic creator to another independent comic creator. There's potential here. I'm just giving my constructive criticism. I will eventually try Yara too. Like I said, like sometimes you gotta give it a chance to see will improve, will it get better. So I'm willing to give it a chance. But I didn't like Yara, the first book. I didn't like Yara at all. Gooding, I liked it how it started, had a strong beginning, and then it started really falling off as it got towards the end because of pacing issues and stuff. But overall, I did enjoy the Gooding experience a bit. No, should it have been longer? I don't know. Like this was already, I think Gooding was already 90-something pages. I think it was. If I can remember these, because the Rippaverse books are long, or whatever. I believe it or not, I don't know. Like, how they? I think that they should have just focused more on the Gooding services part, the aspect of him actually using, helping the people that's outside of Flores Park and actually showing this stuff in action, and why he's a genius in with the services and the technology that he has. But it really didn't do that. So that was the disappointing part about it. So yeah, it had a nice size page count. Maybe it should have been big. Maybe it should have been a couple. Maybe it should have been 100-something pages. I think that probably would have helped it. But the pacing wasn't good. A lot of these writers lack Dragon Ball literacy, simplicity, and that essentially humor. So yeah. So this, yeah. Horseman. I like this book. I like Horseman, and I won't be honest with you guys. Ice Arm shouldn't have been the book to kick off the Rippaverse. Horseman should have been. Horseman was a good. It's not a perfect book. It has its issues and questions and stuff. But The Horseman was actually a pretty good book. I was entertained. Like I said, all you have to do is entertain me. That's all you have to do. You have to entertain me and make me give a shit. And it really did make me give a shit. Essentially, the main character, before he goes to Floor Spark, he became a vigilante to pretty much take care of his sister and his nephew. Because his what made him become the Horseman was because he wanted to get revenge on the people or the men or whatever gang or whatever like that had killed his sister's husband. So now his sister is without a husband and his nephew is without a father. So he vowed to take care of his his sister and his nephew. Now what happened was her husband got killed, but it also the incident had put his sister in a wheelchair. She's in a wheelchair. Or whatever. So he's taking care of. So I like that motivation. He's motivated by taking care of his sister and his nephew, and he wants to find the people who did it. Now the thing that really made me like, well, what? Because he was saying that by the time he became Horseman, he started becoming a vigilante. He's not sure if he's actually caught the crooks or if the crooks were killed by somebody else. He don't know or whatever, because he's been doing it for so long. He's not sure if he got them. He didn't know. He don't know who did it. You know what I'm saying? So that was that. But what happened was he has been his vigilante work has been causing him a lot of trouble, and to the point where he has to move away from his move away from the town that he's in. So what he does is he does enough vigilante work so that he has enough, because he robs criminals and take their money and stuff. He takes their money and all the different type of stuff, and he at least does enough that it would cover at least like a couple months of rent or whatever. But it got so bad to the point where he had to leave and go, and he decided to move his sister and his nephew to Floor Spark. So you got a chance to get a little bit of world building about Floor Spark and Alpha Core and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this should have been the kickoff of the Ripperverse instead of Iceon, because we actually get some world building here. And he's not an exec. He's just a regular dude that's like Batman and Punisher. He's just like a regular vigilante, a regular guy. He's not even an exec. So he goes to Floor Spark, but he continues vigilante work. But the problem is, this is a new city that he moves to, and he has no idea how any of this shit works. So he ends up robbing these criminals, and a dumbass. I mean, for him to be a vigilante, he's also a dumbass. This dude parks his car right where he's about to do his vigilante hit at this drug house. And since he parked his car, he takes all the money, goes back to his car, and guess what? The detective found out found out who he was. How they found out that he was the Horseman? Because he parked his car, it had the license plate, they looked at the license plate, and they was able to pimp and track who he was, which was the dumbest thing that the Horseman could possibly do. So now the crooked detectives are now blackmailing him. Now they have to work for him or whatever. And these crooked dudes are working for a kingpin in Floor Spark. So what they was getting the Horsemen to do is to rob the kingpin that they work for. So at some point they're going to throw the Horsemen under the bus. So so none of the heat can fall on them, or they can suspect them. So there's a lot to it. But the thing that really got my interest was the two villains that the villains had hired. These hitmen or mercenaries, these Nazi or these Nazi type bikers who are exets. So I'm like, oh man, it's interesting because here he is. We have a vigilante who's a human, and he's about to go up against exets. How is this going to work? And this is why I keep talking. This is what I mean when you compare it to Goody. Goody didn't have a sense of urgency or danger or any situation where he couldn't get out of. Now we have a human, which is the Horseman, is about to fight exec. I mean, the guy, he got shot with a shotgun and ate a shotgun. He took the shotgun bullet. Like, these guys, like him and the shit was pretty much almost like impenetrable. So I'm like, how can the Horseman fight these guys? I was like, oh man, like how can you get out of the situation? So there was like a sense of danger. Like how can Horseman fight Excess? And then that's when Alpha Core, that's when Solari showed up, Brian shows up. He shows up, and that's how he got out of the situation. Because he got saved by an Excess. He got saved by Brian Solari. But I say it to say this. This was the book, in my personal opinion, that should have kicked off the Ripper first. And I definitely want to get the next book. He said he's Nightwing and Punisher. So I like to ask, what is the purpose of our universe? In all seriousness, congrats on your comic. I can tell you're passionate about your project and shows. What is the purpose of our universe? Our universe, talking about our universe, the real world, our universe, the purpose of our universe, man, it's just a human experience, bro. That's what we live in. We live in the human experience, man. That's what that is, man. It's to live that human experience. It comes to this world, and we gotta appreciate the time that we have. You know what I'm saying? Our body's just a shell. You know what I'm saying? And our soul is like energy. And our shell is not but a vehicle for our soul to be able to thrive, to get that human experience and stuff. That's how I see things. So he's Nightwing and Punisher. So on top of world building from the perspective of a human, he's new to Fluorspark as we are. I can see how he would be perfect for our eyes into the world of Ripperverse. Exactly. So I want to be honest with you, man. Chuck Dixon did I like this book. I really like The Horseman. I think he did a phenomenal job with it. It's entertaining. I like it. So I'm willing to get. I would like to jump into the next issue of The Horseman. Overall, yeah, I thought Gooding was okay. I didn't like Yaira, and I really liked The Horseman. I really did. Now I bought the Ripper-zine. The Ripper-zine for me, I think the Ripper-zine was like $7. I didn't get the special. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get another Ripper-zine. The Ripper-zine doesn't feel like a magazine. It feels like it just feels like a comic book, with just extra stuff in it. You got stuff from Cannon White's, how to draw step by step. But overall, it's a comic. It's still a comic book. It doesn't feel like a magazine. I don't got when you look at Game Pro, you look at Game Informer, that is a magazine. But when it comes to this, the main reason why I got it was because I wanted to see Saoirse, like the female character that he has. I wanted to see what Saoirse was all about. You know what I'm saying? And Saoirse seems interesting. The Saoirse I do want to pick up. I want to see what Saoirse it's all about. You know what I'm saying? I do want to see what Saoirse is all about when her book drops. But this is the preview of Saoirse that I wanted to see. That's the main reason why I got the Ripper-zine, to see what Saoirse was all about. The concept is okay. But I definitely want to get the book to dive deeper into her character and stuff. She's a secret agent, and these agents, they all got their own special type of skill sets and stuff like that. That's different from one another.